Please rise in body and or spirit as we sing our gathering hymn number 108, My Life Flows On, Endless Song, verses 1 and 2.
Welcome everyone. We welcome especially this morning the youth of Willamette Falls and the UU Fellowship of Corvallis. Welcome whoever you are, wherever you come from, young and older, newcomer or old-timer, whatever your beliefs, you are welcome to join us on the path. Please join me in saying our words of affirmation. Love is our doctrine, compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build a community of caring fellowship, nurture the hopes, and serve the needs of our world.
Sisi kuimba, sisi kushangilia.
Every Sunday, we light 3 chalices as a reminder of our connections with others. The first chalice is for our friends and guests of this Unitarian congregation of Salem. Our second chalice is for our partner church and friends in Simonfalva, Transylvania, Romania. And our third chalice is for our children and youth in religious education and all the children throughout the world. Now it's time for all ages. I was singing this thing, sorry. Thank you, Sarah. Please join me in singing The Flame into Life. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show through us beauty, vision, and joy. Now time for all ages.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Hello. Hi, good morning. Can everybody young or young at heart please join me up front for a story? Welcome. Today we have friends from all over. Last night we had our Hamilton movie slumber party for kids from other congregations from all over the state. So welcome to everybody. And if you are new or haven't been here for a while, we have a new youth group that meets in the blue room in the RE wing. So if you'd like to come check it out, you can join us after we leave here. This story is called Love Monster by Rachel Bright. This is a monster. Hello, monster. I think you'll agree he's a little bit funny looking, to say the least. He lives in a world of cute, fluffy things. This sign says, official pile of extreme cuteness. Which makes being funny looking pretty darn hard. You might have noticed that everybody loves kittens and puppies and bunnies. You know, cute, fluffy things. But nobody loves a slightly hairy, I suppose a bit googly-eyed monster. Poor monster. This might be enough to make a monster feel, well, a bit down in the dumps. But not being the moping around sort, he decided to set out and look for someone who'd love him just the way he was. He looked high, he looked low, he looked middle-ish, he looked inside and outside. More than once he thought that maybe, just maybe, he'd found what he was looking for. But as it turned out, things were never quite as they seemed. But in the blink of a googly eye, everything changed. You see, sometimes when you least expect it, love finds you. Be happy. Thank you. Okay, if everybody in the center could please rise up and pray the love march will be on our way. Thank you.
Please join me in a prayer of gratitude and compassion. It takes all sorts of caring to create a supportive community. We give thanks to those who provide the care and offer them our blessing. We think of the comfort we find in another person's presence, in our beloved Reverend Rick, our Lifelines lay ministers, our Connections leaders, and so many more. We give thanks for those who provide this care and offer them our blessing. We are thankful for the way this community meets material needs of the members and friends through the minister's discretionary fund, the partners in our Share the Plate program, and the Marion Polk Food Share. We give thanks for those who provide this care and offer them our blessing. We are grateful for those who bring beauty into our lives, choir members, those who provide special music, the art team, and all the artists whose work brightens our building. We give thanks to those who provide this care and offer them our blessing. We are mindful of all those who work behind the scenes to keep this community running: the greeters, the office staff, the board of directors and the facilities team, the celebrants and production team, and the leaders of all the many ministries and programs. We give thanks for those who provide this care and offer them our blessing. And perhaps, most of all, we think of all of you who are not official lay leaders, but who have listened with an open heart in a Sunday school classroom or during coffee hour, who have lent a helping hand to another member or friend in need. For all of the ways we care and support one another, we give thanks and offer our blessing. Amen.
Good morning. I'm Lorna Youngs with Lifelines Lay Ministry, and we are the group that reach out to members of the community who just need a little extra care and support. You can reach us by sending an email to lifelineslaministry@uusalem.org, or catch one of us wearing our lavender badges. We've got some new members, and we haven't yet badged them up. We'll think of a way to make them much more obvious to you. We don't have any joys and concerns that have been posted, but we do have joys and concerns that have been written in the black book that is in the foyer each day. So I will read those. First is a joy. From Cora. Jo Bateman is 101. Her birthday was 2 weeks ago. And Joe, you are an inspiration to us all, and thank you for always keeping us on time. Here's a concern from Connie. My wife, Carol Lee, is going to see a specialist after a brain MRI showed some suspicions in her pituitary gland. Please keep her in your thoughts. And it's always really scary when you find something strange in a brain MRI. And the last one is from Phoebe Anderson, and it's also a concern. My best friend recently broke her foot and is currently stuck in a boot and unable to attend school. So please send out your concerns or loving support that she gets well soon. And we light one last candle for all those joys and concerns that have gone unspoken today. Thank you very much.
The statesman Winston Churchill once declared, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." But why do we give? What motivates us to be generous? One answer is gratitude, thankfulness for all that we have received, especially from others. We give when we can, and when we feel thanks is not enough. As the poet Anne Morrow Lindbergh wrote, "One can never pay in gratitude. One can only pay in kind somewhere else." Here are some thoughts on gratitude from a poet known as Swiftwalker of the Lenape tribe. Let's start with the people we love and those who love us, thankful that they are in our lives, obliging us to open our hearts. Let open hearts embrace the earth, the sea and soil and stars, blessed by bold beauty, the bounty of being. Then with hearts open to beauty, let us embrace the arts and the generation of learning, that we should have wisdom. Let what wisdom we have, wan and wanting, lead us to strive so the seventh generation, hence, can live more fully. It is in that work, and that alone, that we can express our thankful spirit. May we make it so. For the opening to make it so, let us be truly grateful. Amen.
The average lifespan of a woman living in the United States of America today is 77.28 years. I think I'm pretty average. I see the look on you ladies' face. Well, Joe beat it, so, you know. It looks like, by those numbers though, that I have only 14 years to live. When I retire, I'll have about 12 years to do all the things on my bucket list. Maybe less, because I'm likely to become infirm with age unless I'm like Joe. And I might experience cognitive decline. So I reckon anything which takes place after about 2037 really doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't see why I need to worry about how the little ones in RE right now will pay for college. It's not my problem. If Social Security or Medicare are around for all you 30 and 40 somethings when it comes your turn to retire, I'll be long gone. I worked really hard for a long time. I want to keep my money and use it to enjoy the time I have left. This way of thinking is not that unusual. Corporations and politicians and government officials and, let's face it, a lot of ordinary people use this logic to justify their actions. And if we're honest with ourselves, each of us has thought, more often than we care to admit, what's in it for me? We have come to expect to receive a reward, payment, or at the very least, an expression of gratitude whenever we help others, whenever we share our talents or give a gift. Okay, sure. As responsible adults, we have to pay our debts. It's the law in many cases, and it is good manners. When we benefit from the generosity of another person or an organization, we do feel obligated to settle up, pay them back, or return the favor. And in my experience, Unitarian Universalists and UUCS members and friends in particular are a grateful people. They express their thanks. They pay their debts of gratitude whenever the opportunity presents itself. Paying back is logical. The outcomes are measurable. We know when a debt is incurred and when the scales are tipped in our favor. We know what to do to repay what is owed, and we know when we have regained balance. There's a finite end to the transaction. So when I learned that we would be kicking off our 23-24, God, that sounds weird, stewardship season today, I got to thinking about the many stories we've heard over the years from longtime members, new members, and from friends. Testimonials, if you will, of the ways that the many ministries and programs here at UUCS have enhanced lives. The joy and growth that was experienced, the support that was received in time of need. I probably could ask each and every one of you for a story, and you could tell me something really inspirational and compelling about why you chose to be here in this community. We've been reminded of the need to support UUCS as a way of paying back for the benefits we've received, a way to settle a debt of gratitude, an obligation, if you will. But what if we looked at stewardship as a way of paying it forward? Many of you know that I was born and raised UU. So you might think becoming part of this particular community was just a result of having moved to Salem. And, well, sort of. But actually, throughout my life, when asked what faith I belonged to, my answer was always Unitarian Universalist. To be honest, I kind of liked the way people looked at me, and they shrugged and they went, huh? What's that? But For the majority of my life, I was not a member of a UU congregation or fellowship. I didn't pledge or donate. I didn't volunteer my time or skills. I didn't attend services, and I rarely even stepped inside a UU building. Still, the 7 principles guided my life, and I always felt a sort of kinship with when I met other UUs. Now, I'm a person who loves to see new places and experience new things, and I was lucky enough to do a lot of traveling when I was younger. And each time I would set out on a new adventure, whether I was crossing the country or an ocean, my mother, an unwavering believer in the welcoming and kindness of Unitarian Universalists, told me that if I ever found myself in need, I should find the nearest Unitarian or Universalist or Unitarian Universalist church, and they would welcome me and help me out. Being young and sure I'd never need anything from anybody, I just rolled my eyes. Then, around 20 years ago, after my daughters had left home and life had happened, I realized that I needed to find a place where I could be part of a community, a place that would nurture my spirit, where I could share my journey with others. So, I finally decided to follow Mom's advice. I found the nearest UU church, which happened to be the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem, and inside I found my people, all of you. I was immediately welcomed into this community, and you helped me find my way back to my own spiritual path. While I'd been living my life identifying as Unitarian Universalist, but offering no contribution or support for this or any other UU community, the friends and members of UUCS were generously paying it forward. They didn't know me, but they built me a spiritual home. They nurtured a community of caring people. They preserved the traditions and music and rituals of my childhood. They paid it forward, even though they had no idea that I would need this place someday, this community, these people. This concept of pay it forward is actually quite old. It appears in literature from ancient Greek. It also appears in the writings of Benjamin Franklin. Unitarian minister and essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson developed a theory of it in 1841 in his essay, Compensation. He said, "In the order of nature, we cannot render benefits to those from whom we receive them, or only seldom. But the benefit we receive must be rendered again, line for line, deed for deed, cent for cent." I like that. The benefit we receive must be rendered again, line for line, deed for deed, cent for cent, to somebody. At its core, pay it forward is the idea that small acts of kindness, multiplied by many people, will change the world. You know, that concept sounds really Unitarian Universalist to me. Paying it forward is an act of trust. It's an act of hope. It's an act of faith. When we build and support this community and its members, we are paying it forward to those whom we will probably never meet. Earlier in this service, as we do each week, we lit 3 chalices. One for all who are present here, now. One for friends in a place where long ago, brave souls began and nurtured a new faith movement, paying it forward so it could become one of the foundations of present-day Unitarian Universalism. Our third chalice, we lit for the next generation and for all the generations that will follow them. But that flame isn't sitting here on the altar because it goes with the children as they grow, as they learn and search for their own spiritual path. When we tend these flames, we ready this spiritual home for the next generation and for all who find their way to our doorstep. I don't know if I have 4 years or 34 years remaining in my life on this earth. I do know that I will leave many places unseen, many adventures unrealized, and many people unmet. That doesn't concern me much anymore. I just want to know that I left the world a little better for having been here. I don't know who's going to walk through those doors in days or years to come, but I do know that when somebody needs the kind of fellowship and services and love and kindness and community that UUCS has to offer, this place, this community needs to be here, thriving and ready to welcome them. As most of you know, I'm a real fan of Fred Rogers, and I like the way he put it. It's not so much what we have in this life that matters. It's what we do with what we have. I think I'm going to invite Gil up here to tell us a little bit about how he feels about UUCS.
Hi, I'm Gil Nicholson Nelson, and after 5 years of checking out the UUCS, my wife Diana and I decided to finally sign the book. So in 1995, Christine pointed out that it's on the back of my badge. We finally signed the book. We signed in the old building. We followed the Great Oz, which we also call Ranger Rick or Reverend Rick. We followed him through the curtain behind the pulpit, and we signed the book. We joined Mike Lukens and the wonderful Lorraine Stewart to sign the book on that day. We went into Rick's secret office behind the pulpit to learn about membership and join this community. We had attended the local Friends meeting. Diana was Quaker, and we were married in a Quaker ceremony. But the Quaker meeting was very small and almost no children at all. And we wanted to have a kid and a community for our son. They were meeting at the YWCA. So we asked around, and a parent in Diana's preschool program suggested that she really enjoyed FUSO, the First Unitarian Society of Salem, Oregon. And they had a woman minister. So we were excited. That parent was Janet Newberg. When we checked out this FUSO, we found the woman minister had a beard. And everyone called her Reverend Rick. We found Rick to be a fine solution, a fine substitute. and we were amazed at the welcome that we received here. We both quickly jumped in to teach in RE. We've both served on the board. I taught OWL several times, and I led the youth group with several different facilitators. I taught a district, Pacific Northwest District, youth chaplain curriculum several times, and led the youth district con. I got to travel with my son Ben and Rick and his son Zachary to Shimanfalva, Hungary. Oh wait, it's not Hungary, it's Romania. They got given away to another country. Anyway, so now we hope to organize more trips on the committee for the partner church. I also serve on the Safer Congregations Committee to help folks stay in loving, respectful community. I'm also part of the men's group here. We just met for breakfast this morning. In all of my involvement at UUCS, it's hard to tell what I do to serve and what I do for me. We didn't even plan that, Janet. Here in Salem, the process was growing to start raising funds to build a new home on land that we had acquired. And here we are. I was teaching at Head Start at a year-end gathering, and a fellow teacher, I pointed out to her that, gosh, last weekend there was hardly anyone at the UU. That was Jane Manning. She took me under her wing and she UU-splained. Oh, didn't they tell you? UUs are the only ones God trusts enough to give the summers off. The principles and purposes of this universally accepting community were a profound concept to me. I'd been confirmed at St. Mark Lutheran Church, but then I went off to University of Oregon and learned what Martin Luther had said. I enjoyed folks at St. Mark, but I couldn't see how their creed could answer my questions. Here, I was told what I believe is up to me. How we treat each other is what's important. When I went to grad school in social work, I learned about the National Association of Social Workers principles and was quite tickled at how similar they are to the UU principles and purposes. The first one on both lists had to do with the inherent worth and dignity of every person. It's the same wording exactly. My mind imploded. UUCS is all about people and how we treat each other.
Well, Gil is a tough act to follow. You're fun. So I've been asked to talk about my path to this congregation, and I will tell you that I attended other UU congregations in my life over the years, but just kind of sporadically and out of curiosity. But I moved in 1992 with my husband John to Salem, and at that time there were 3 coffee shops downtown, and not a lot going on that I could tell. So I had to look around for how I could get involved in social justice opportunities with progressive folks and to find a spiritual home. And I found this caring community. So at that time, John and I began taking our son Jasper, who was 2, to RE classes, where he met Ben and Zachary and Dominic and all the other little 2 and 3 and 4-year-old boys that hung out in the basement at the 19th Street Church. He and Jasper and later our daughter Emily both continued in RE through their high school bridging. I was very proud that they have a strong spiritual base from which to confront their very conservative friends and neighbors. They can fight tooth and nail with anybody over what they believe because of RE. I taught, like Gil, many classes for years, for 17 years. I was back in RE teaching many different ages and classes, including OWL with Gil. I didn't know we were going to do this together, Gil. I learned most of my UU history in those RE classes. It's amazing what our children learn. And I made lifelong friends. They are my community with other parents like Gil, Diana, et cetera, et cetera. I am a UU because it's a non-creedal association, drawing from many sources to enrich our faith. When I left my little 30,000 population German Catholic community in Iowa, I sought other spiritual information. I went to college and I took world religion classes, and none of it stuck for me. None of it. I didn't get it. But it was back in RE that I understood different world philosophies, and it makes a difference to me and to my family. I also really welcome that we are a liberal and a democratic congregation. We're managed through our shared ministry and our covenantal relationships. Very different from the Catholicism that I was raised in, where the Pope told us what to do. It's this shared ministry that intrigued me. Over the years, I've participated in our shared ministry by being on the Safer Congregations Committee with Gil. I just follow you everywhere you go. Once a social worker. I've also been on the board. I've been on the Committee on Human Relations, which I really believed in because we look at equity practices in our hiring and wanting to make sure that we sustain our staff as best we can with the limited budget that we have. And I wound up on the fundraising committee a couple of years ago. I don't know why, but I'm still there. And I supported our intern minister committee when we have intern ministers. Along the way, I discovered that being on a committee really doesn't require any deep knowledge or skill set, which was helpful for me. Just a willingness to learn and participate in our democratic process. I feel it's essential to understanding our personal power in shaping our shared ministry by working on whatever committee fits for you. It might be landscaping, it might be finance. There's a place for all of us. Covenantal, personal relationships with others has really been what's kept me engaged in this community. Being covenantal with others who have this same value enables me to go deeper with them and with myself. Being in the choir, in a connections group, and on a good neighbor team that where we're supporting an Afghani refugee family of 9 strengthens my commitment to this congregation. I believe that at UUCS, we value community and all the blessings of our beloved congregation. We are a vibrant, caring community of service that strengthens the social fabric of the place I call my spiritual home. So I have a strong commitment to this congregation. I wonder what a strong commitment looks like to you. I believe, besides working on shared ministry, it means financially supporting all the work of our community. Every one of us should contribute whatever we can, whether it's sweat or equity, to run this, our congregation. Thank you.
Had a lot to think about today. Let's take a minute and just sit back and relax. And close your eyes or not, whatever works for you. I'm going to let Lorianne make her way to the piano and give you some tinkling in the background. This is number 515 in your hymnal for reading if you care to follow it. For the sun and the dawn which we did not create, for the moon and the evening for which we did not make, for the food which we plant but cannot grow, for friends and loved ones we have not earned and cannot buy, for this gathered community which welcomes us as we are, from wherever we have come. For all our free churches that keep us human and encourage us in our quest for beauty, truth, and love. For all things which come to us as gifts of being from sources beyond ourselves, gifts of life and love and friendship. We lift up our hearts in thanks this day.
We share our gifts to support the work of this ministry and that of other groups serving this community. We help nourish the Salem community by giving non-perishable foods or money to Marion Polk Food Share. These are collected in our little red wagon, which is on its way. Also, each month, a portion of the plate offering goes to a local charity or program. This Sunday, this month, we share the plate with Marion and Polk Food Share. And now our greeters are going to be passing baskets through the congregation. For those wishing to make a donation by check or cash for the work of these ministries. If you're filling out a check, please make it payable to UUCS. You may also make offerings at the Donate tab on our website, uusalem.org. Thank you for your gifts to this congregation and to the world around us.
Such
Let's see, running around this morning. So please join us next Sunday when Reverend Rick asks and hopefully answers these questions. Do I have free will, or was this sermon predetermined? Should be fun. This was not in my notes, but I was asked just beforehand to let you know that the celebration of life of Lorraine Stewart, our beloved member and former pianist, will be next Saturday at 2 p.m. here at UUCS. We also have another special announcement about a special kind of chalice.
Hi, I'm Teresa Farnham, and if you haven't heard about chalice circles, I'd just like to give you a very brief overview and tell you that tomorrow is the last day to register. It's very similar, complementary to Connection Soul Matters. They are similar in structure in that they meet each month with a goal of building relationships. They differ in focus, however. While Soul Matters asks, how do you feel about the topic of the month? Chalice Circles asks, what is your opinion about the topic? Soul Matters emphasizes introspection on topics such as belonging, love, finding your center, and it emphasizes introspection on those. Chalice Circles focuses on external societal issues. The topics for our 3 meetings for this spring are March, we will talk about evil. Is it innate and on a spectrum? And certainly we've got reminders of this every day on the news. Dignity, which is the first principle of UU, is the second, is the April topic. What are the challenges in honoring the dignity of every person? And the last one is possessions. What's the impact of materialism on our daily lives and on society? I'll be in Fellowship Hall following this if you have questions about it or if you want to register. Hope to see you.
Thank you. Now, news of the community can be found in several sources, online, Hot Topics, the monthly newsletter, the Chalice and Flame, and this week at UUC, an email that's distributed to everyone. If you're not already on one of those distribution lists, notify the office and they'll put you on. With the kickoff of our congregation's pledge drive, Tending Our Flame, that's the title of the pledge drive this year, today, everyone is invited to join the pledge team in the fellowship hall after the service for a brief program and a treat. Team members will have laptops to assist with filling out online pledge forms. As Janet lights the lantern of social justice and extinguishes the 2 chalices remaining, we call where we come from and from whom we come, knowing that we now carry our love, hope, and work into the world around us. Thank you, Janet.
And if you would now rise in body and or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, number 121, We'll Build a Land, verses 1, 2, and 4.
standing, if you are already standing, and join hands in body or spirit as we say our closing words. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come. Very nice.
Good job. I hired the right person for that shaker.
So maybe we can put some tape there.
Big guns.